Hey, Mike here. I will be showcasing my very much starter script when it comes to LLM testing. Now, instead of me just yapping on here, let me show you it in action. So we're just going to run this with my little RPM. So RPM, in case you don't really follow the channel so much, stands for Run Python Main. It's an alias I have set up that just basically runs the main.py file in whatever directory I'm currently in. So RPM, enter. And right off the bat, let me tell you everything that just popped up on my screen. So here you can see the testing model. Now, I have not tested this specific model. I just downloaded it. And by the way, you can see it's already streaming the answer. I'm going to go through this step by step. First, I'm going to show you all of the workings of it, and then I will show you how to set this up on your own machine from the beginning. But yeah, you are given the testing model right off the bat. It creates a results directory for you. It labels the next directory with the version of the LLM test, which is set right here within the LLM test.markdown. And of course, not only does it label the test as a directory, but it creates yet another directory of the model that you are currently running on your local machine. And then within that directory, yeah, we have directory within directory, but this will make a lot more sense in just a moment once I show you how everything looks when you've tested multiple models. But anyway, you can see here within this directory, you have the actual result file. So within this file, you can see right here, let me put up a side-by-side preview of what this looks like. Let me lower this down. I can minimize this. And you can see, let's pay attention to the right-hand side. It's much more obvious what's going on here. At the top of the file, you have a header one, which is basically just the test version and the date and time that you have started the test. You have the model name, and then you have the question and answer pairings. I will also show you how to insert your own questions in here so that you can, of course, modify and create your own tests. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing I want you to be able to do, is to test based on your own criteria. Questions that I may use maybe have nothing to do with your workflow and vice versa. So that's why I've made the process seamless when it comes to iterating on tests. Anyway, as we head on down here, you have the question. In this case, the first question was, what do you know about the Obsidian note-taking app? Provide a quick summary in Markdown format. So this is important. Showcasing your Markdown knowledge. And then the answer, everything in yellow, by the way. I think it'll be easier if I show you what it looks like through the terminal. And then once you understand what's going on in the terminal, you will understand what's going on in the result file itself. Everything you see here in green is, of course, the question that we prompted it with. And then the yellow, everything that's yellow is generated by the AI. At a first glance, what do you think? Do you think it passed? And I'm asking because once the generation is complete, as you can see here at the bottom, now the text is white. I've color coded it, so it's pretty straightforward. It tells you that that's the end of the LLM's response. And it asks you, did the LLM pass according to your personal response preferences? And this is, of course, very subjective. You may have very lax requirements for how it responds, or you may have very strict requirements for how it responds. But yeah, taking a look at the response, it looks pretty well formatted. It gives a very good overview of what Obsidian is, and it has a numbered list, bold items. It features a header. I personally will give this a pass. And so to give it a pass, all you got to do is, of course, Y, as it says right here. Now, before I press enter, I'm going to go all the way down here so you can see what happens in the file itself. So now we can press enter, and it automatically inputs the grade for that specific question as a pass. And then, of course, it starts the next question. Now, this video is more so to show you everything that you can currently do with this Obsidian LLM testing repository. And so I'm not necessarily going to go through each and every single question here. I want to show you what you can do when you are quite sure that the answer that is so far generated will end up being correct or wrong. In this case, for example, I don't necessarily need it to finish because I know that it's going to be correct. It's correct so far, and maybe the text is already so large, I don't want to spend my time waiting for it to finish off. So I can just Control C here. And as you can see, you have a little message that pops up saying that the LLM's response was interrupted. So it ends the answer here. And then once again, you are prompted with that same yes or no question. Let's see what it looks like here at the end of the file, specifically code-wise. You have a little header 2 that pops up, says answer interrupted. And in this specific case, I interrupted it because I can see that it's going to be correct. Now, I've run this multiple times in the past, so I know what a correct answer looks like. That's why I was able to interrupt it here and also designate it as a pass. Let's put a pass grade for it. And right away, it moves on to the next question. Now, I also want to show you what it looks like when it fails. So I'm going to have it generate a few words here. Although, actually, I think this one, it does pass as well. So this is, for example, generating the relations specifically for this piece of text. As you can see here, the original question is suggest relevant links for the text I give you within triple quotation delimiters. This is, long story short, the instructions set that I have created templates for when it comes to the text generator plugin that I've featured extensively on this channel so far. But anyway, that's another story for another time. And there it is, all of the relations that have to do specifically with this piece of large text, all condensed into these relative links. So again, I will put a pass here as a yes, and it will move on to the next question. Now, I did say I wasn't going to run through all of the questions, but I'm just going to do this last one. Now, I have yet to find a local LLM that has passed this next question. So right off the bat, I can see that it's incorrect. So I'm going to stop it here. The question is to generate a data view code snippet to display all notes within my Obsidian vault that have the word vid within their note title. Case insensitive. The only LLM that has passed this specific question is unfortunately GPT-4 Turbo. No local LLM, even ones that I have connected to through an API, like the Mistral models, they do not pass this question. Now, it may be because I don't offer too much context. However, this is one of those questions that passes just fine on GPT-4. So that is primarily the reason why I keep it here. I want to see the moment where a local model will be able to answer a GPT-4 specific question just the same. But again, as you can see, I interrupted the response here. Let's head on all the way down here, answer interrupted. It didn't even finish the triple backticks here, which we'll just remove just so that it doesn't get all wonky later. But yeah, answer interrupted. And for this, I will put a N for no. It gives the grade as a fail, as you can see here, and it moves on to the next question. Anyway, as we go through all of this, I'm just going to exit. All you got to do to exit the test is just hit Control C twice, and that's about it. So if we move this terminal down, you can see that the file that was created here has the full question answer pairing of all of the question and answers. Granted, you don't skip them like I did, and you're able to refer to this in the future and see which ones have scored the best versus those that have not. So now I'm going to show you how to set all of this up from scratch, as I mentioned in the beginning. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is head on over to my little GitHub here, Obsidian LLM testing. This, of course, will be in the description box below. Copy the link and head on over to your terminal of choice. Now, personally, I do this with iTerm2, but you can, of course, do this with your typical terminal application. We are keeping things very simple. Now, technically, you can git clone inside of any directory, but personally, I like to keep all of my gits in the gits directory here. So I'm going to cd into that. All we have to do now is git clone and then paste the URL that, once again, is in the description below. Then we click enter, it clones that repository, and now we can cd into that exact directory. This is what it's going to look like. Let me show you this in Ranger so you have a better notion of what this looks like. You have everything you need. You have the LLM test, the main Python file, the app itself, and of course the requirements, which are very simple. All you need is OpenAI. Now this next part is of course up to your own personal preference, but I like to always set up a Python environment, and I've aliased all of this. So usually I type in mech, which is make environment here, and That's exactly what it does. Now let me show you this alias just in case you're not sure how to create a Python environment. So right over here, you can see within my .config zsh aliases, I have meh, which basically just echoes so that we know what's going on, and then creates a standard virtual environment setup. And then you guessed it, we do ECE, which stands for enter current environment. And now at the beginning, we have the .env, which lets us know that we are within the virtual environment. From here, we can do PIR, which is pip install requirements. Let's pop off enter. And again, it installs the requirements, which, as I showed you, are quite simple. Just OpenAI. It's going to install absolutely everything you need to run the OpenAI package. And from here, you are all set. Now what we can do, as you saw in the video earlier, is RPM, run Python main. Enter. And once again, we are back where we started, retesting the Alpha Monarch 7B model. I'm just waiting for it to start streaming here. And there we go. So start streaming. And again, all of this is taking place not only here in the terminal, but also in the specific results file. Anyway, I'm going to exit out of this. That is the full setup, all done from the comfort of your terminal. Now, of course, you will need to make sure that you are running your local inference server. Let's say, for example, you either don't have your server running or you haven't set it up correctly. If you try to run Python main here, you are going to get hit with this connection error. And it's just going to tell you to ensure that your LLM is running and accessible at this specific URL, which is the standard for LM Studio under server port 1234. Now, once you start it and you press enter, it will start up the test once again. Now, for a quick refresher on how to get all of this set up, you just have to download LM Studio. The URL is lmstudio.ai. You head on over here, you download LM Studio for whatever operating system you are currently running. Then you're gonna head on over to this little magnifying glass here. And the best models to really start off with, to really get yourself comfortable with not only downloading, but utilizing these models, seeing which ones you like the best, I really recommend just typing in the bloke. The bloke is my go-to to not only see the latest noteworthy models, but it's also a great repository of models I may have missed in the past. Or let's say I've upgraded my system and now I'm not limited to just 7B models, but now I can run 70B models. The bloke would definitely be my first stop for that. Now, currently, if you are looking for the best model, from my personal experience, it is the Capybara Hermes 2.5 Mistral model. So it's actually the latest model at the time that this video is being created, posted on February 1. And yeah, all you got to do is just figure out which one works best for your system. In my situation, I have, as you can see in this little corner here, 16 gigs of RAM, so I can comfortably run any of these models. But if you see over here, if I try to run a 70 billion, so not a 7 billion, but a 70 billion parameter model, I really can't use any of these because it'll just tell me right off the bat, this is likely too large for your machine. Now, if you run into this likely too large for your machine issue with a 7 billion parameter model, then your current setup, your current computer, may not be built for local inference as of yet. You can try stable LM2. And if you type that into your search, you will get hit with stable LM2. It's a 1.6 billion parameter model. So it's much, much smaller than a 7 billion parameter model. You can try your luck with these. Now, I will be going through extensive testing, not only going through 7 billion parameter models, but also, of course, the stable LM2 models, because, hey, if we can infer faster and have the same results in terms of quality, then why not? But as I mentioned, this is all more so a setup video for you to get everything running and off the ground. In the next video, which will drop tomorrow, we will go through extensive testing through many, many models. As you can see here, this is just a starters list of models that I want to run through. I will be downloading and testing many more in the upcoming days. I've tried to make this as straightforward as possible. If you try to run it and you're not up and running with your local inference server, it's going to tell you exactly that. I may actually add a part here with the link that goes to LM Studio, so I'll update that. But yeah, pretty straightforward. Once you hop into your LM Studio, start the server, make sure that the port is matching, head on back to your terminal, press enter to try the test once again, and it will start the inference. Just to show you, again, this is currently running Alpha Monarch 7B. If I cancel this out, let me clear this, and I go to LM Studio. Let's say I switch out into Neural Beagle, it's going to load this model instead. Now it automatically stops the server. It does everything for me. And then all I have to do is just start the server. And now when I head on over to my terminal and I run RPM, run Python main, you will see that the testing model now says Neural Beagle. So again, this is all a beautiful way to keep up with which models you're testing. Let me show you what the directory structure looks like here, Ranger. As you can see here, now we have a directory labeled results. And this results directory has another directory labeled version 1.0. Because of course, when you head on over here to the LLM test, as you can see, the version is specifically 1.0. If we head on in here, you will now see two directories here, one of them being the Neural Beagle directory and the other one the Alpha Monarch. Again, this is just an easy way to see the specific results at specific timings. It's all very well organized. And most importantly, if I update this, let's say that I switch out a question here, or I add a question. Let's say now I want to name it version 2.0 instead of 1.0. I just save this, exit. Let's rerun here, run Python main. Again, it's going to do the testing. I'm going to cut it short here, show you the new results directory, and now we have results version 2.0. As you can see here now, we only have Neural Beagle because, again, we have not retested Alpha Monarch in the version 2.0. And yeah, that's about it. I do hope that I haven't missed anything here when it comes to the instructions. I've tried to make it as straightforward yet interesting as possible. I don't want every single one of my videos to be this kind of tutorial scene, but I also want to make sure that everyone is keeping up with how we are doing things. As I mentioned, this video is a setup to everything that we will be doing tomorrow, aka testing the top contenders for our local offline LLM for particular use with Obsidian. In tomorrow's video, we will find out who the top contenders are when it comes to local offline LLMs for our own Obsidian vaults. And as always, thank you so much for watching. A special thank you to all of my patrons, both on Patreon and now on YouTube. Remember, ask away anything related to productivity, note-taking, artificial intelligence, and of course, Obsidian, and I will reply to you as soon as possible. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.